Gym life. How often do we discuss this? I mean, the one thing you look at George, when you want to see somebody who's really, really jackzilla, it's when they look jacked in a dress shirt. Then you know they're like Batista, John Cena, George Tremis. This is when you see somebody and you're like, okay, they don't have to wear schmedium like the chosen lawyer. They actually got it. So people start off the year and they're saying, and throughout the year, how often do I need to work out? How often should I be going to the gym? And one of the things that I always throw out to people is this much. You're busy in your life. You're good at your role in your career. That's great. In your home life. Did you go to school for gym, for fitness and health? Do you understand when you should be working out, how you should be working out, what body parts in what order and in what sets and reps, etc.? The truth of the matter is, if you want to be really good at that, why not bring in a trainer into your life? Have them show you, they made the game plan. All you got to do is execute. And having a trainer, I found in my life and connecting with the right trainer, it's mountains difference. If I work out one session with my trainer, Jared, it means more than 4 sessions on my own, because I'm never going to push myself to those kind of levels. I don't have the foresight of how to work the body parts in what order. And that makes a really big difference. So creating that team and having that kind of mentality, putting that kind of leadership into your gym life, rather than I'm just going to show up at Good Life or LA Fitness. I'm going to do a couple reps on a machine, and then I'm going to talk for 30 minutes, and I'll do a couple more reps, and then I'll go take a shower in a sauna, and I'll go home and I worked out. What do you think of gym life there, George?
I think you brought up a lot of interesting and amusing points, and it triggered a lot of thoughts. First and foremost, I agree with you about the trainer. So I'm the guy that grew up as a kid reading Muscle and Fitness magazine, the Joe Wader magazines. I was drinking those shakes in the early days when they were like liquid chalk. And I thought I knew my stuff. I really did. And yeah, I made some progress, etc. But when I hired actual coaches in different areas, the progress I made was unbelievable, which ties back into what we're talking about. You got to build that dream team, if you will. And you don't know what you don't know. So I thought I knew a whole bunch of stuff reading these magazines, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And these coaches brought things to a new level. So as far as like going alone or going it with somebody, if you can afford that advice, that coaching, then by all means go for it. And if you think about it, the most valuable thing we have is time. So are we maximizing our time at that 45 minutes or that 1 hour in the gym? Well, I'll tell you, I maximize it a lot more with my trainer. Even if I know the routine, I push a little harder. It's the observation effect. It's proven. So, I mean, you're investing in yourself when you invest in the right team around you in the context of the gym, it'll push you further faster.
Those people that say, I can't afford the gym, I can't afford a trainer, those are the same people lined up at Tim's, at Starbucks, getting a cappuccino, getting a breakfast sandwich. You know what? Go down to Costco, grab yourself a big tin of coffee, make your coffee at home, grab a thing of English muffins, grab a giant thing of oatmeal, cook your oatmeal on the pot every morning. If you take that money that you waste into food that actually isn't really nourishing you at all, and you put that money into better food into your system, and you save that money and you put that money towards your gym, your trainer, the money is there. It's all in priorities. People with almost no income, all of a sudden, I see them, oh, I got another new pair of $300 shoes, oh, I got another new dress. I decided to upgrade my car because it's, but your car was fine. Like, what was wrong with it? Well, it's all in life priorities at the end of the day. And I look at it as far as gym life, everything else, that's the one thing I would splurge on. And I don't even see it as a splurge because it's keeping me alive. It's quantity of life and quality of life. So if the one most important thing is to enjoy your life and be alive, and that's going to directly lead to it, why would you not do it? To me, it's a no-brainer. And I've seen people worth millions of dollars, and they could have a trainer every day if they wanted to for the rest of their lives. Money is no object, and they just don't want to. They don't think that they need it, and they don't want it, which is fine. But at the end of the day, what are they choosing to do with their lives from a health perspective? I mean, this is not shoving gym life and everything down people's throats. But at the end of the day, whether we're 30, 40, 50, 60, what is your health like? What is your medical conditions? Are you on pills? Do you have to get surgeries? if you had gone to the gym, if you had gone to take care of your body, would it have broken down the same way? Would you feel a lot better? I've seen people in their 70s doing yoga classes in the gym, and they're more flexible than I was when I was 20.
You know what? I think the fitness part of it, whether you want to go to the gym, whether you want to do yoga, is critical. And I think the people that say, why do I need it? You don't know what you need because you don't know what you're missing out on.
Yep.
Right. And the fact of the matter is that time you spend, if you spend it right, it actually creates efficiency and synergy. So even on vacation, I will work out every morning on vacation. I sleep better on the beach. I swim better. I read better on the beach. I party better at the party pool. Everything's done better because I started my day out with a workout. Now, whether you're an end of day workout person, beginning of the day, I mean, that's a personal choice thing, but healthy lifestyle will contribute. And it's funny even that in this day and age that we're actually talking about it, like it's still something that's questioned, the value of it, but it's definitely there. But, I think tying into that, if I may, one more thing, and it ties into our previous topic as well, is there's this exercise I learned about called stop, start, continue.
Okay.
I love stop, start, continue. So whether it's in the context of the gym or New Year's resolution, they tie in beautifully together. It's not just what am I going to start in the new year? What's serving me well that I'm going to continue? And what am I going to stop doing that's undermining me? And I guarantee you, and I could confess all the things I do that undermine me. Those are the things I got to stop doing. Right. And everybody has them. We all undermine ourselves. So that stop, start, continue is great, even for the gym.
Yeah, no, great thought. And look, gym may not be the starting point for everybody. I can say that I love the gym from the time I was very, very young. I took pictures of Arnold from the Arnold encyclopedia, and Arnold pump the iron. I heard his voice when I was working out, and Arnold always drove me. And then, like everybody else, I left it at some point. I was on the mental space, whatever it being. When I made the decision that I was at the lowest point of my life, I was the heaviest I ever was. I had medical issues, and I knew I either have to fix this or I'm gonna die. That's just the fact. I made the decision finally after marinating on it. I'm gonna sign up to yoga. I'm gonna go to yoga. Yoga is gonna fix everything. And you know what? It did. It's funny because spiritually I was a different person, different mindset. Mentally I was stronger, and physically I was a lot better off. And I love yoga combined with the gym. But even if a person doesn't want to lift weights, do something, anything active. But the most important part of yoga was not the actual physical activity of it. It was the lying down in shavasana, being still with my thoughts before the class and after the class. And I plotted out subconsciously so much of my life direction of where I am today through going through daily yoga. It was it just created a new journey for me altogether. It was always me, it was always my mind, but it's a really hard thing to sit alone with your thoughts and be comfortable within one's own skin. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And it's hard to distill all the voices. And I know from my own yoga practices as well, what you're talking about, when it stills and you're with your own voice, you, yourself, and you, if that's a thing, then you really gain some clarity for sure. And I think that it's such a great point because everybody thinks about the physical, like body benefits of exercise and the gym and yoga, but there's also not just the spiritual and the mental, but it's the emotional. Because, I think it's super important when you keep a commitment to yourself. When you say, I'm going to go to yoga every day, I'm going to turn things around. What you did for yourself there was way more than the yoga itself. Is you made a commitment and you're like, yes, I am Jonathan. I'm the one that delivers on my promises to myself. And you did it. And so now you evolve, you level up to a point where you believe in yourself, you believe in your commitments to yourself, and you believe in your ability to achieve because you kept a promise to yourself. At the end of the day, if we don't keep promises to ourselves to work out and take care of ourselves, how are we going to keep our other promises? And how are we going to believe that we can achieve?
On that talk, I always said when I went to, and I've been to a lot of yoga studios, I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of yoga studios. One thing you don't see is a bunch of people before and after class smoking. It's just not a thing.
No, yeah.
Have you ever seen one? I haven't seen one. And why? Because you're in that hot room and the breathing that's needed. You can't smoke and do that. So if you are a smoker and you're thinking about giving up smoking, maybe consider going to yoga, learn how to breathe, because a lot of us don't know actually how to breathe. We're holding our breath all the time when we're in panic situations, when we're sleeping, when we work out. When you learn the actual breath and you learn to flow, it's amazing how much clarity it gives into your mind, and it makes you into such a different person, you know?
You make me want
And
to breathe deeper right now. I can
I
tell.
can feel it exactly. and and just making that commitment, going to yoga, going to the gym, it keeps you off the streets. It keeps you from eating and like sitting. I'm bored, so I'm just gonna eat, and I'm gonna eat some more, and I'm gonna watch more TV, and I'm gonna eat some more. And I don't feel like going for a walk because I'm lazy, because I'm not lethargic. It makes you get up. It makes you go do something. You have to go to the studio. You have to do the class. You have to shower. You have to leave. It's amazing getting into this kind of routine. Now I don't feel like eating pizza every single night. I actually want to eat healthier. It's amazing how yoga or gym can start that, because all of a sudden you learn you have to eat right before and after this activity. Otherwise, the activity is not going to go very well or be productive. Good luck in doing this without drinking water. If you're a person who doesn't drink water, if you're going to some sort of activity, you're going to learn to drink water. And it's amazing how much better your body just naturally sleeps after it's been active, right? So all of a
Oh, yeah.
sudden, every other component that you should be doing in life, starting with one change, can lead to a whole bunch of other changes together. It's fabulous.
I love what you said about if you don't fuel yourself right. I just had this image of eating like half a pizza and then going into hot yoga. It just doesn't work.
I've told a lot of people, the way I think about it is very simple. Look at your body. Your body is a Ferrari. Are you putting regular gas in the Ferrari, or are you putting premium gas into your Ferrari? And are you going to do car washes for the Ferrari? Are you going to change the oil? Are you going to be, you're going to be meticulous. So why would you do that for your car and not do for yourself? And why do you think of your body as a broken down Civic versus a Ferrari? You know, put yourself in a better place. And to me, it's all about imagery. You know, it's when I'm in the gym, I'm not actually in myself doing my exercises. I can almost pull my mind out of my body, and I can picture myself doing exercise. This is what I want to look like while I'm doing it, and I'm almost working out together with my brain, picturing myself. And I did a lot of research into this, and a lot of athletes that are really successful, when they win championships, how do they do it? It's all imagery. They all picture the game plan. They could see themselves doing it, and they do it. And that's where I think a lot of people, to make the decision, I want to start a gym life, I want to start exercising, start picturing yourself what you want to look like. This is, you can have that body, absolutely. And picture what you're going to look like at the gym. If you can see it, you will do it, right?
That's such great advice. And it actually applies to even in the morning when you wake up and at night before you go to sleep. I mean, if you think you're going to have a challenge about, hitting the streets in the morning and going for a jog, let's say, I mean, I've heard stuff like lay out your clothes, make sure your running shoes are over there so you see them, like all these visual cues and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. One of the most important is the visualization that goes on inside your brain. And I mean, if you picture yourself lean and fit and healthy and happy, and you're going to want to do whatever it takes to get to that because you've been visualizing it. So that's huge. And I think even during the gym session, that's important, and I find all too often people end up on their phones. You ever notice that?
All the time.
It's like a 5-minute rest on the phone in a 30-second set. And they're just hammering out the set as fast as possible to get right back to the phone. And I'll admit, sometimes I've done business while I'm at the gym. I shouldn't actually, because I know it's inefficient. Nothing's really going to change for 45 minutes, but it's that loop we're in, that constant having to get that feedback loop. Oh, I'm busy, I'm needed, business, it's important. And we put ourselves on the back burner. And so, I don't know, going forward, I'm going to try to make a more conscious effort not to do that at the gym. And it's funny because when we have personal trainers, you don't do it. Like, I don't do it. I don't check my phone when I'm with my trainer. Because it's like disrespect, right? Not only am I paying for the time, but I feel like it's disrespect. But then why is it okay for me to disrespect my time with myself?
The person you're most disrespecting in that case is yourself.
Exactly.
And I think one of the things going back is, no matter what stage you're at in gym life, it's the beginner's mindset. And I know from everything I've read, as far as world leaders of business, a lot of them have something very important in common. They all wake up very, very early in the morning. Mm-hmm. And they all did their exercise. They all have their game plan. They're already well into their list before you even wake up, for most people out there, And again, who needs them at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning? Nobody. And what I tell myself when I have that urge to bring out my phone, you're not that important at the end of the day. You think you're that important, but you're not that important, because that's what, there's 24 hours in a day. How would you
Yeah.
answer the phone if you were sleeping right now? You wouldn't. If you were in
Yeah.
the shower, would you answer it? No, you wouldn't. So why can't you get an hour to yourself uninterrupted? Because I know what's going to happen to myself. If I'm working out on my own and I have my phone, it's a sloppy, shitty 1.5 hour workout versus a focused, amazing 45-minute 1 hour workout. So the phone has no place near the gym. And because what you're doing is you're not actually giving yourself that credit in that time, and you're not putting your full into it, and you're not going to get the results. I don't think Arnold is on his phone half the time when he's working out, or Stallone. No, they're working out.
Not
That's
a
it.
chance.
So that being said, going back full circle, for somebody who now watching this and they're saying, you know what, I really want to get into gym life, and I hear everything you guys are saying. How many days a week should I be working out? What should I be doing? George, you got a gun to your head now. What is the answer?
Really simple. It's where you're at in your journey. So if you haven't been going to the gym, just say, I'm going to go one day this week. Just
Right.
commit to one day. Don't overwhelm yourself. Then add 2 days, then 3 days. If you're somebody that was pretty routine before and you've fallen off the wagon, as they say, go back to what you were doing before. Pretend like that time didn't happen. Weave it back together and go back to where you were. So there's no absolute answer. It's more about where you're at in your journey. But the main thing I would say, no matter what, is listen to your body. So that's one thing I've learned from one of our mutual coaches. His thing is you got to listen to the body. You know, Cam knows
Body
what
will
he's
always tell
talking
you.
about. Yeah, and it changed things for me. So some weeks, I'll go 7 days. Maybe I'll work out 9 times a week. Sometimes I'll double up on a day. And then other weeks I'll only work out 3 times because my body needs that time. So you'll get used to it. You got to listen to the body.
I love that. And to add to that, depending on whether you're going with trainers on your own or both, it's a really big difference. Depends how you gel with your trainer, depends how professional your trainer is. If they're straight out of school and don't have experience versus somebody who's very experienced, but maybe, those trainers also, right? George, you've seen them. The ones that are on their phone half the time, they're talking to other people, they're
I
not
don't
paying
sleep for
attention, they're
long
not counting the reps. They don't
because
care,
they're dying.
Right. So you're only getting so much value out of them. I give a little bit more of a hard, fast kind of minimum in my mind. I agree with you. And wherever you are, if you're doing nothing, you have not been to a gym, yoga studio, nothing, do something once a week. Agree with you. Start somewhere, anywhere, build up into it slowly. So go one day a week to the gym, and one day a week, go for a walk. Next week, 2 weeks, whatever, maybe add 2 walks a week, whatever you got. Any kind of activity is great. The one thing I generally like to see, whatever activity you've chosen, I think the sweet spot at minimum is 3. If you can do some sort of physical activity, ultimately, I don't care if it takes you 3 years to get there, but if you can get to minimum 3 times a week, I think you're in a really good place. For some people, they're younger, they're not getting injured, they got it down. By all means, do 6 days a week if you really want to take one day off. But your body will tell you when all of a sudden you're breaking down and you're getting injured, and now you got to take 2 weeks off because you pulled a muscle because you've gone 4 days in a row. Your body's telling you, I don't want to do 4 days in a row.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it should be a bigger target. So yeah, definitely work your way up. And I mean, if you want to bring it back to like 6 days of work, 1 day of rest, for various references following along those lines, then yeah, I do agree with you. I think you should work out 6 days a week, take 1 day to rest. And it makes sense. Maybe you're not hitting, your max rep or, your 1 rep max on every day on every set. No, that's a recipe for failure, for injury, for problems. But be active 6 days a week at least. You're right. And I mean, biologically, evolutionarily, we're supposed to be active on a daily basis anyway. It's just a question of the magnitude of the activity. So yeah, I will retract part of what I said and said maybe start out with 1 day a week. But to your point, get up to 6 days a week. There, the gun to my head, that's my answer, 6 days a week.
See, for me, when I think of most athletes out there, they've all put yoga into their programs. If you're a football player, a wrestler, a hockey player, and I think how amazing it'd be in a perfect world. One day you do weights, one day you do yoga to stretch out, one day you do weights, one day you do yoga, one day you take off. And I found adding yoga into the weight training, I'm more stretched out, I'm limber, I can lift more, my cardio is better, my fitness level is better. It's amazing how yoga helps the weights and the weights help yoga, and they all work together. It's the yin yang. When I was doing heavy boxing and yoga were such a perfect mix together because they actually do help one another. So it doesn't have to be one or the other at the end of the day. If somebody could do both in a perfect world, fantastic. And you know, if you can't afford a yoga membership, maybe go to the studio once a week, once a month. Roll down a yoga mat in your house. Open up the YouTube. You know, there's a lot of great instructors out there, and they're very qualified. They put the programs on. Do it on your own. Whatever, you know. Even I found, George, wake up in the morning and doing a 10-minute yoga program makes a night and day difference of how my day is going to function the rest of the time. I do count that as a workout. All I put in was 10 minutes, but it's 10 minutes that created a quality 20 hours to follow.
It does count. It totally counts as a workout. You can do 10 minutes of highly intense cardio, or you can walk for an hour at a leisurely pace. They both count as a workout. It's not about the time, it's about the outcome, which is what's important.
It's just those people. I've had the people tell me I'm active, and their version of active is I do a boot camp once a year, and that fixes everything. And I don't work out the rest of I work out 1 week in a year. That's it. Or I'm a runner. I bike, but I haven't run in 3 months. I haven't biked in 6 months. Well, then you're not really a runner or a biker, to be honest. And it's like everything else in life. You know, do you want to do one activity? Are you kind of limiting yourself because maybe you should work out other parts of your body? Running is great. Sure. Enjoy running if you love it. But if your knees can handle it, by all means. You love biking, do it. But what about your upper body? What about other parts of your leg? Do you squat? Do you deadlift? You know, it's amazing how many more things you could do with your body at the end of the day. And I think our bodies crave variety as well. We get bored, we get stagnant. If I had to eat, I love hamburgers, but if you gave me a hamburger every single day, by about week number 9, I might get bored of the hamburger, you know? Workouts, I think, are no different. And that's one of the things where if you could do it on your own, great. Otherwise, it's nice how the trainer knows that, feeds you one set based on the season, based on your body, and all of a sudden go on a different route. So think about the variety as well, because if you think I just got to do this program, and if I board this program, my exercise days are over, I think you're sorely mistaken, because go take up hockey, go take up any activity. Anything is good, better than nothing.
You're right. And the cross training is so important. Yoga works your body in a different way than weights, in a different way than running, swimming. So yeah, variety is important. But I think it also comes down to something really important, which is how do you see yourself? How do you define yourself? So you said this person says, I'm a runner, or I'm a fit person because I do boot camp once a year. No, you don't really identify yourself as a fit person, because then it would be part of your daily, weekly, monthly lifestyle, right? You don't decide to shower every day. You just shower every day. You don't say, oh, I'm going to eat today. It's just part of your life. You don't decide I'm going to breathe today. So really, when you get to that point that is part of who you are, then I don't even think it'll really be a question about how many days you need to check the box a week in terms of how many, gym sessions did you get in or workouts. It's just going to become part of your life, and it will flow. You'll be like, today I feel like going for a walk. Today I feel like yoga. And it'll just be about doing something every day. It's that consistency that leads to success.
I love it.
So there you go. That's the answer.
That's the answer. At the end of the day, it's not a diet. It's not a quick fix. It's called a lifestyle. And when you can accept it as your lifestyle, your goals for the new year is a lifestyle. The amount of times you exercise, that's a lifestyle. I love it. Absolutely.
Are you living a life by choice? The chosen life.
Chosen life. Absolutely. That was the whole point of the podcast. Everybody wants to live the chosen life, and chosen life consists of many, many, many facets. Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.